In this video, I'm gonna show you the only way to do outreach as a copywriter, because the stuff that is being taught by copywriting gurus in the scene is simply not going to work anymore. Competition is getting higher day by day, and you need to stand out if you really want to confidently close clients in the long run. The new way of doing outreach, the method I personally use, allowed me to close a total of 8 clients in just 6 months and hit my first ever 10K month in January this year. And that's what I'm going to show you in this video, guys. So let's get right into the lesson on the only way to do outreach, guys. I'm very excited to have you here because this is going to be extremely valuable. So yeah, before we get into the only way to do outreach, but also the 2 best outreach methods out there, I first want to show you what not to do if you want to get clients, because most people get it completely wrong, guys, you know? And I prepared some examples for you to really drive this point home. So yeah, I'm going to show them to you on this slide. So yeah, you see all of these like high volume outreach methods, something like, hey brother, just wondering if you need an appointment setter or if you need 3 to 5 high ticket clients, just text me or something, you know, like this high volume bullshit where people can just tell you are just a number for them. You are not like a very special client to them. They are just outreaching to you to get some money from you, you know. This high volume stuff simply doesn't work. It makes you look like a bot, you know. These are like 3 examples. Maybe you've already seen some of those, or maybe some guru taught you like about these. Or do you already do something with email? No, it's simply not going to work. These are like a little bit more high value kind of outreaches, but yeah, it's basically just they share a 2-minute video with you telling you about what results they got, you know, making everything about themselves, how good of an agency they are, how nice they are at like scaling your programs. But at the end of the day, it's just another like high volume outreach, which they send to everybody, you know, just showing results, making everything about them and not actually delivering any new information or something that is implementable for me as a business owner, you know. So I personally received these outreach methods right here. And yeah, it's just boring because you always receive the same thing. Everybody talks about how good they are, but nobody actually says how they can help you, or they actually do the thing that they promised to you in the first place. So yeah, they don't do the work first, you know? And you need to ask yourself, guys, do you stand out from the competition? Do these guys stand out from the competition? Chances are they don't, you know, chances are you don't stand out from the competition. You need to understand that in 2025, competition is so damn high that you can't keep sending high volume bullshit outreaches. They are not going to work. You need to stand out from the competition, guys. So many noobs try to escape the matrix these days. Business owners are getting spammed on Instagram, you know? You need to differentiate yourself from them, or otherwise you will get left behind. It will not work out. You will never close a client ever, you know? Especially if you don't have leverage or a personal brand, if you don't have testimonials. As a complete beginner freelancer, you need to stand out from the competition with a high value approach. So yeah, and the way we do that is by going with the only way, the high value approach, guys, you know? And before you skip this video and say something like, oh, I already do high value, no, you probably don't. Because I am going to show you what value actually means, guys. You know, value can mean 2 things, you know? Value is either information or implementation. Or to get like 1 step further, it's new information or useful implementation. And I am going to explain this as easy and simple as it can get, so you finally understand what is actually valuable to the clients you want to work with. So yeah. Do I learn anything new, right? So basically, new information just means, is the business owner learning anything that he can personally implement into his own business? Is he learning anything in terms of like a new method of launching his products, a new way of like doing the marketing, doing the sales? Does he learn anything new? It has to be very valuable information, very new information kind of, you know? And implementation, on the other hand, is you provide something to them that is going to, you know, drive the needle forward for the business, and you actually already do the work for them, you know? I'm going to go more in depth into this later, but ask yourself, do I learn anything new from these outreaches? Bro, they just tell me about what they can do. It's never, they always say the what, but they never show the how or like already do the thing, you know? It's always what, how, and did. And you need to at least go with how, provide new information to them. This one is not going to provide any new information. Same goes for these looms where they show their results or 2-minute video presentation, blah, blah. I promise you 3 to 5 high-ticket clients, they always talk about the what, never the how. And also, no new information in there. So it's not valuable. It is not valuable. And they are simply not going to get trust from me as a business owner if they don't provide anything to me up front. It's kind of insulting that they send like this high volume stuff to me as well, because business owners are very arrogant. I speak for those business owners. They want to get something personalized. So anything new? Do I learn anything new, guys? No, I don't. So no. And now I will show you the 2 best outreach methods that utilize these concepts, the concepts of new information and useful implementation, guys. Starting with outreach method number 1, the high value loom. And by the way, I have a bonus for you prepared at the end of this video. If you say to yourself, I already do looms, no, you don't do the high value approach. So buckle up, it's going to be very in-depth and insightful. So this is where we utilize new information. And if you don't know what a loom is, it's basically just recording a video, providing like new information or like value to the business owner you are sending it to. So it's just an educational video trying to close the client, right? And this is where you as a business expert tell him about something they probably don't utilize in their business as of now. You give them new information. You pitch some stuff to them. Little disclaimer, it's really hard to pull off those looms because you have to speak confidently, you have to, be straightforward, you have to be knowledgeable, you have to speak very concise. So nailing looms so they actually listen to you because essentially you talk down to them kind of because you give them advice. It's really hard to nail the looms, but it worked for me like 3 times or something. So these methods definitely work, and you can pitch like new information to them, like webinar launches, like selling their product over and over again with like special offers, email retarget sequences to like browse the whole email list, welcome sequences to nurture the people that like save themselves the lead magnet even further, so they are ultimately ready to buy the program, or like an active landing page so people can opt in and book a call. You can just give this information to them, explain to them how to do it. You pitch like some mechanism to them and explain how it works and how to pull it off, and there are plenty ways of providing new information or like plenty vehicles to actually drive the needle forward in a business, so many ways. But I am unable to fit everything into this video, so wait for the bonus at the end of this video. But of course I have some examples prepared for you, which I am going to show to you on this side. So these are like 2 looms I sent to business owners that I ended up closing with these methods. So you can see it's like a very high quality personalized presentation telling them about their business, showing it off, showing my face because anons jerk off, it's like a saying, always show your face or otherwise people can't trust you. Talking about the launch strategy, like, you can implement scarcity, regularity, blah, 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 consistent income, or like the types of funnels we can launch with your offer, like webinars, call funnel, meaning like the evergreen, always existing funnel, free lead magnet funnel, blah, blah, blah. And you of course only pitch the things that they don't do right now, but these are just some vague examples, but I'm going to show you the bonus at the end of this video. Nice thumbnail right here, very like intriguing, people, why is my face on there? They click the video and they watch the 5 to 7 minute high value loom, and you will see it at the end of this video. Now to outreach method number 2. The high value sample, guys, so the first one was just a video providing new information to them, but the second one is where we utilize implementation, meaning we already implement the new information we have for them, and provide it to him for free. We act on the information and already do the thing that he was going to do himself, so implementation, in my opinion, is more valuable because it's like what, how, did, and now instead of just talking about the how, you actually do the thing. So it's like the ultimate last stage of providing value to someone, This means you write a full copy for him or build a whole landing page for him, like a real website that is like interactive with like colors and stuff. You can go all in on this. One time I sat on an outreach for like 10 hours or like 8 hours or something. Yeah, I didn't end up closing him, but that's part of the game. You learn along the way. That's the beautiful thing about this outreach method, you know? So yeah, you can also write a full copy, you know? Like full email sequences, a full landing page, or like a full VSL, you know, all of these copies, but never single emails, because single emails are not really valuable. It's just one single email, and they are not going to make any money. And also, third point, they are not going to be implementable, because yeah, what will be how would they just take this email and send it to the email list without like any context? It has to be implementable, guys. I have to explain this even further, you know. The key, as I said, is that it has to be implementable, you know. It's not supposed to just be a show off, guys, you know. Real value is always new information or useful implementation, you know? Something they don't know already, or something that they can actually implement into their business. And to really drive this point home, I'm going to explain this even further. Please understand, useful implementation means if you are going to send something to them like one single email, are they really going to be able to incorporate this single email into their email list? Or is it going to be weird, kind of, like implementing the thing? What would work, on the other hand, is sending them over, if they like already have a landing page, send them over a new perfect kind of copy for the whole landing page, and which would make sense in their funnel, because it's not just a show off, guys. You don't just show your skills, it should be implementable in their business. You do something personalized. Create a whole landing page copy, and now they say to themselves, bro, this copy is way better than the one I have right now, and you are going to end up close this guy, because one, he's going to maybe even implement it at first, or second of all, it's sometimes it's just about like the kind of gesture you give to people. So maybe he will say to himself, bro, this is crazy, the amount of effort he put into this, like with nice formatting and stuff. And it's actually implementable for me, so I can kind of incorporate this into my own landing page, like the whole copy, you know. It has to be useful implementation, guys, you know. So these are like the points that the real value are made of, you know. So yeah, now to the bonus of this video, guys. I'm very excited to talk about this. These outreach methods I've told you about in this video, you know, like the high value loom and the high value sample. I have so much to say about these two, you know. I have a free 2-hour outreach masterclass in there telling you everything about these two outreach methods. Basically my exact outreach system I have used to close a total of 8 clients in just 6 months, you know. So I teach everything I know in there, you know. You can ask me questions in there, and at the end you can even send your looms and your high value samples to me and let me review them for you, so you can send these to your client when they are perfect and end up closing your client in the next 4 to 8 weeks if you already have the service delivery side of things figured out. Because how are you going to be able to provide any new information if you aren't an expert at what you do, guys? That's why I teach you guys to understand everything at first and go to business owners after that, you know, because as a noob you can't provide any new information or useful implementation to them, because you don't know what works and you don't know how to fulfill on the things that actually work. So yeah, only 153 people in there, guys. It won't be like this forever. There will be thousands of people in there, so you are still early. Get your looms and samples reviewed. Watch the masterclass. In my opinion, it's the best outreach course on the whole face of the planet, even though it's free. So yeah, hope to see you inside. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.